Factory orifice, 8mm ball bearing. And I put a 3.5mm ball bearing inside the piercer. Like little check balls. Same 8-inch barrel, Rydberg Joe V2s. I don't have my handguard on because I was playing with the fitment of something. That made the weirdest sound. 196. Did it double fire? I don't know, I've never heard it sound like that before. That was strange. 196, well, that wasn't very good, so it did restrict the flow. .338. 328. 320. 304. 290. 274. 7 rounds. That was the best yet. Except for that first shot. I have no idea what happened. Factory brass orifice. Bypassed. I removed the 14mm nut and the bearing that I had in there, and instead I put a 4mm bearing in the puncture adapter. .338. That's definitely a cut in power, so let's see how it balances. .334. .326. So far, so good. First fairly substantial drop. .282. .260. I think that was the last one. It was. 1 shot, 2 shot. That's it. Well, I'm going to have to, that one was pretty good. Fairly simple restriction, leaving the brass orifice here, and I'll see if I can show you guys here. Like the last test there, I only had a 3.5mm ball bearing in this adapter. Pretty tough to see it, but it's in there. It's a hair bigger, it pretty much fits in there with a little bit of vacuum. So you can picture it, it's kind of acting like when this airs up, the bearing kind of shoots forward, but it's limited by that pin in there. So that pin is normally there to depress like a tank pin, or the pin on my dual 12-gram adapter, which is why I suspected the 12-gram adapter did such a better job metering that air. So now we have a check ball in here doing it. And that worked pretty good. Without needing a spring or anything inside here. Although, with the ball bearing in here and the spring in that first test, I'm gonna have to redo that one because that weird noise, the low shot, I don't know if that was too many check balls essentially in the system, and one was slamming shut and one was opening, and that's kind of where that weird clunk noise was, and then that's why my velocity was so low, because literally it stopped the airflow, which I don't really find possible because none of these are making any airtight seal, but let's just retest it. You might ask yourself why I'm repeating the first test of this video again. Well, including the misfire, the 196, the super low first shot, the last shot finished at 274, which is like 27 joules. Now, I already had set a goal that maybe I didn't mention of finishing at 25 joules on the last 7th shot of this magazine. The second best was the second test, but it finished at 260, which was 24.99 joules. So I need to know, will it fire the first shot without any problems this time? And was that just some sort of hiccup? And I'm thinking it may have been my piston might have pushed it down all the way. Usually I just push it in a little and then tighten the cap against it so it doesn't get that initial surge. I really should just put another CO2 in right away, but dem to brakes. Joule V2s, 8-inch barrel. $4mm ball bearing, although, damn it, first one I was a 3.5. Well, whatever, we're gonna roll with 4, it fit better anyways. 8mm ball bearing in the reg, and this is the standard factory orifice. .42, that's looking good. And no weird clanking and clunking. .30. Return 2. .310. .298. We're right on track here, boys and girls. .280. I think that was the last shot. Right, one more. But damn, .272. One shot. Two shot. There's one more good shot there, just based on the sound signature. Well, I'm quite satisfied with that. There is one other way to restrict, and that's actually reduce the size of the air chamber. I do have some things to insert into the chamber just to try, but I think I mean, I don't think I could get much better than that. And those numbers are based on this barrel. I'm sure if I tossed this guy in there, you know, probably be 50 plus or whatever, but I am quite happy with that. That's the goal I was working towards. I want to run one of these off of CO2, but I want one usable mag. I think the next one, you guys just have to wait and see. One just for you guys hanging in there to the end. I know these experimental videos are, you know, they might be boring to some, but I get much amusement from it. 14-inch Lapco 684. We're gonna do the same setup. 4mm ball bearing in the adapter, 8mm ball bearing in the regulator. Factory orifice. HP 68, 7.8 grams. This marker is icy cold right now. I have put lots of rounds through it, lots of CO2 through it today. Still holding good. Just gotta put the oil in there and your O-ring should last for quite some time. Should be rocking out of there. $410. Woo! $390. $362. And my trap is taking a little bit of a beating there. $338. $328. This was a full mag of 11, so it should shoot 10. $306. $274. Getting pretty weak there. $228. $148. I think that was the last one. Not enough CO2 left. How many shots we got out of that? Mag is empty. It fired 10. It fired 10, but so close. I would love to see 10 out of a 16 gram. I think if I did the dual 12 gram, I'd probably have no problem now. Let's restrict the air chamber. Probably gonna happen during the week.